On the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Dear baseball fans, swing into action with Toyota's 2025 lineup. Leading off, the RAV4, a utility all-star that delivers in the clutch. On deck, the spacious Grand Highlander, followed by the fuel-savvy Corolla. Next up, our slugger Tacoma, bringing upper deck power every at-bat. And rounding out the lineup, the playmaking all-hybrid Camry. For more, visit Toyota.com or your local dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Brewers fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the ball, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Brewers fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Brew Crew with your crew. US Cellular, built for us.
All right, let's get you rolling this afternoon. We start with the roads. Debbie Lazaga, good afternoon. How are things?
Good afternoon, John. We start off not great. We've got a bunch of accidents to deal with. One, northbound 43, right about at Fond du Lac Avenue. The left lane is blocked with that, so we've got delays back through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Beyond that, though, there are also delays all the way up to about Keefe. Then we've also got a crash westbound 94 just past Sunny Slope Road. Now, the right lane was blocked with some emergency crew for a little bit. I'm not sure if they're still there, but we do definitely have backups all the way back to Highway 100. Eastbound 94, right at Highway 18, has the left lane blocked as well with another crash. Those delays stretch all the way back to about Highway 164. And then one more, actually just got cleared. It was an accident down near the IKEA right off of Rawson on northbound 94, so at least we got that going for us. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clearing skies, a low of 33. Tomorrow, some sunshine, 51 inland, a little cooler along the lake. Saturday's pretty nice, sunny with a high of 60 inland. On Sunday, slight chance for showers late in the day, but most of the day is nice with a high of 64. On Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 61 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 39. All right, thanks for hanging out with us. The Brewers fall in Colorado.
It was tied for so long.
It was, and then the bullpen fell apart late in the game. So we've got your sports covered as we head through the afternoon, and lots of other things that we're on top of today.
Yes, at 5:18, this National Crime Victims' Rights Week, we are recognizing a law that includes victims more. It's called Marcy's Law. The 5th anniversary, Wisconsin has had this in effect. It's named after Marcy Nicholas. She was a senior at UC Santa Barbara and was stalked and murdered by her ex-boyfriend. Her family suffered through court and parole hearings, feeling like they did not have a voice. The murder victim's mother, John, suffered a heart attack at the killer's second parole hearing.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
And they felt like they were being tortured. So this law requires the opportunity for input by victims and their families during every phase of the criminal justice process, including bail, plea deals, sentencing, and parole. I spoke to Jessica Strand. She's a director of Victim and Witness Services for the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. She lives in this world every day, day in and day out. What aspects of Marcy's Law have you seen a huge change that has been so positive for victims?
So with Marcy's Law, it kind of brought awareness and victims' rights to the forefront and kind of elevated their presence within court. So when victims are notified of court hearings, they're not just notified of the court hearings, they're notified that they have a right to be present. And so what we have found is that when victims do show up, whether they are in person or on Zoom, the judges actually, a lot of them will notice and will ask, did the victim want to speak? Because victims now have the right to speak when requested at proceedings.
Interesting. So some of these rights have always been there, but it just kind of firms it up where nothing will fall through the cracks. The victims have to be notified of when the next court proceeding is, for example?
Correct. So our office is required to make sure that victims are notified of all proceedings in a timely manner as possible. Some proceedings happen rather quickly, so that may come in the form of a phone call or a text or an email. And other times we are able to send out written notification via mail. And victims are also from the very beginning notified of all their rights and how they can contact us to exercise those rights.
Interesting. Is there anything else with Marcy's Law that you were like, wow, this has made a huge impact for victims?
Recognize presence, the importance that they now hold with being in court, the recognition that they are truly a part of this process, that their voice matters, and we need to acknowledge and respect their presence and support them.
That's a really good way to put it, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So when a victim knows, hey, I can speak here at this moment where this person who I'm accusing could get out on bond and possibly reoffend, do you think that it kind of empowers them?
Yes, I do believe so. Victims knowing that the judge is asking, did the victim want to speak, is empowering for victims to know what they have to say is important, and the court cares about what their viewpoint is, and that they are not just this silent party that everyone's talking about, but that they are actually an active participant in the process.
Have you seen a huge impact in the difference of court proceedings now that they know they can speak and some of them do?
I've seen it just with how judges will ask about it, and they're making sure that we have provided notification to victims, and if the victims are present, making sure that they're asking if they wish to speak and giving them that opportunity. I know that when Marcy's Law was being first put on the ballot, there was a lot of concerns that victims' presence in court would slow things down, that it would cause delays in the court process, and we have not seen any of that. I think victims are able to participate in the court process in a very timely manner and have their voice heard.
What don't people know about your work that you do every day?
Our victim witness advocates are here to work with victims from the very beginning of when a case is referred to our office, to assist them through the charging process, to ensure that they're notified when charges are issued, go to court with victims, escort them, sit with them, explain what's happening every step of the way so that victims don't feel like they have to go through this alone. Entering into the criminal justice system, this is not something that they asked for. This is something that happened to them. And so trying to make the process as easy as possible, our advocates are there to advise victims when they need to be in court, when they have the right to be in court, what's going to be happening, what they can expect, really kind of being that liaison between the victim and the court process.
In the 5 years since Marcy's Law has been in place in our state, have you seen a huge difference?
I have seen a number of judges who really have stepped up and have acknowledged victims' rights in a way that didn't happen prior. I think that we've always worked within, here in Milwaukee, we've always had a pretty robust victims' rights team. At the same time, since Marcy's Law, I feel like the judges are much more active in asking whether or not the rights have been upheld, their willingness to pause a proceeding so that we can ensure that notice is done. When we say, no, the court date's too soon, we aren't going to be able to give the victim notice for that next, whatever they're trying to schedule it for, they're willing to work with us on setting a new date.
Yeah, because some of these trials can take years.
You know, we've made a lot of strides as far as victims' rights, but there is still a lot of work to be done. And I think it's important for the ongoing conversation around victims' rights, around Marcy's Law. We are continuing to educate the judicial system, the community, what those rights mean and how our victim witness advocates are there to assist victims in exercising those rights.
What's another one that could be addressed?
So victims have the right to attend all proceedings involving the case. And so that includes jury trials. And so some judges are very open to allowing victims to be present throughout the duration of a trial, whereas other judges are still operating under the sequestration and not allowing victims to be present. And so our ADAs are having to do a lot of arguing in court and educating the courts in certain courtrooms on the victim's right to be present.
Gosh, if I was a victim of anything, I'd want to be in court.
Some judges are amazing. They completely get it. They don't try to push back on the victim's presence in court. So I think homicide is an area where they don't necessarily push back on that, but in other areas of the criminal court.
Again, that was Jessica Strand, Director of Victim and Witness Services for the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. So some ways to go, but I'm glad that we have that in place here.
It's important.
Wisconsin. It is.
It is super important, no doubt about that. All right, let's check out how the markets did today. So yesterday, remember, it was a big day. It was big green day. I think the NASDAQ ended up 12 points or something, 12% or something like that. Everything else was up 5%. A lot of it got given back today. Not all of it, but stocks plummeted as Trump tariffs kept roiling Wall Street. They're reeling from that whiplash toward the end of another week. The tariff policy, they're trying to figure it out. There is no doubt about that, and it was reflected in the markets today. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. The Dow was down more than 1,000 points today, giving back 2.5%. The NASDAQ was off 737 today. It gave back 4%. The S&P 500 dropped 188 points. That was 3.5%. Very, very big numbers. It's almost like we're just getting used to these numbers being so big. They would be historic any other time, but after 4 days of big numbers, both directions, it's just kind of like we're numb to it. Annex Wealth Management, financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Speaking of tariffs in the economy, how could it affect the pharmaceutical industry? We've got that coming up, a detailed report. That's in 20 minutes on WTMJ. The news up next.
Do you enjoy researching sofas before you buy?
No.
Do you compare product ratings?
No way.
Are you interested in knowing everything about your new sofa?
Absolutely not. I just want the best sofa, period.
Sounds like you want the SB261 sofa from Penny Mustard.
If it's the best sofa, then yes, that's the one.
It's our #1 bestseller.
Fine.
The SB261 sofa has a classic, exquisite look.
Great.
I've never heard anybody say a negative word about it.
I'm sold.
If the SB261 sofa was in high school, it would be voted homecoming queen and king.
I'm ready to buy.
5 stars, A+, and everyone's thumbs are up.
Stop talking and take my money.
The SB261 sofa, American made with solid wood frame, individual seat springs, unsmooshable Qualex Ultra Foam, and thousands of fabric and leather options, starting at $29.30 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
The best versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Hey, boaters!
From fishing to water sports and everyday essentials like anchors and life jackets, along with an incredible selection of hardware, Kendall Marine is a boater's paradise. This is Dave Doro, and our endless selection of boating parts and accessories all but assure you one-stop shopping for all your boating needs. And that's why boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendall Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendall Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
This is Dave Doro from Kendall Marine. And if you're a boater and you haven't been here, ask around. And I think some of your boater buddies will tell you you're missing out. Because at Kendall Marine, we have everything you need but the water. And when you get here, you'll know that's no exaggeration. So get in the know, because boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendall Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendall Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geiss's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geissdoors.com. Geiss has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geiss at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geiss. Visit them online at geissdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geiss.
We're sponsored by the Wisconsin State Fair. Big groups save big at Wisconsin State Fair. Deals end April 27th.
Big groups save big at Wisconsin State Fair. Take advantage of discounted group tickets for parties of 25 or more at wistatefair.com. Hurry, deals end April 27th.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a tragic helicopter crash in the Hudson River.
I'm Julia Fellow. A woman killed in a crash site on I-43.
I'm Debbie Loziga. A bit of a mess out on the roads right now. We've got 894 southbound with the left lane blocked, a broken down vehicle right about at just south of Beloit Road. So watch for delays coming in from the Zoo interchange. We've also got eastbound 94 with an accident at Highway 18, the left lane blocked there. Backups all the way back to Highway 16. And then we've also got westbound 94 just west of Sunny Slope Road. We've got a crash. It is off on the right shoulder right now. Emergency crews were on the scene. They were actually able to take off, so now we just have a squad there with this one of the vehicles. And then on northbound 41, we've got a crash just north of North Avenue. The right lane is blocked with that. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Clearing skies tonight, a low of 33. Sunny tomorrow, 46 at the lake, 51 inland. Right now, it's cloudy and 39 degrees in Milwaukee.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, all 6 people aboard a helicopter died when it crashed into the Hudson River between New York and New Jersey this afternoon. It was carrying 2 adults and 3 children, plus the pilot. Jersey City Fire Dispatch via Broadcastify.
We have a child on the pier performing CPR.
Law enforcement says the family members were tourists from Spain.
The White House confirms today the tariff on Chinese goods now stands at 145%. ABC's Selena Wang.
This is something that Beijing has been preparing for years, for the possible scenario of a complete breakdown in U.S.-China trade. So they have been trying to reduce their reliance on the U.S. economy. So in a way, this actually helps feed into Xi Jinping's goals to make China more self-reliant, less dependent on the U.S.
Analysts expect prices of popular items like iPhones and Nikes to skyrocket.
President Trump says efforts to continue to secure the release of the hostages held by Hamas. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
President Trump told reporters the U.S. is close to getting the hostages in Gaza back. The president also says he's met with some of the families of the 59 remaining hostages.
24 that are alive, the remainder that are dead. They want them back just as much as they would want them back if they were alive. It's really pretty amazing and pretty sad.
The Jerusalem Post reports there has been some movement from Hamas's side concerning negotiations on the release of the hostages. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
New details about what led up to the closure of I-43 in Milwaukee this morning.
After a car and a pickup truck that was towing a travel trailer crashed near North Avenue, an unrelated vehicle stopped at the crash scene. The sheriff's office says a 76-year-old woman from Milwaukee, believed to be a relative of one of the people involved in the first crash, exited her vehicle and was walking around the site when she was struck and killed by a 25-year-old man from Milwaukee. That man taken into custody under suspicion of OWI. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The man accused of impregnating and abducting a teen from Beaver Dam is waiving extradition. 40-year-old Gary Day being held in Sarpy County, Nebraska after being found with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin on Thursday. He's pled not guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor and falsely reporting his name to officers. Day faces 4 felony counts of child abduction and child enticement. in Wisconsin after Franklin was reported missing on February 7th. He's believed to be the father of her unborn child.
All clear at Pewaukee schools after a brief secure hold at the middle school buildings. The police responded to Asa Clark Middle School at about 10:30 this morning after concerning comments were overheard by students. The rest of the school day continued as planned. The district wants parents to monitor their emails for any updates, though.
More international students having their visas revoked, this time at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. The 10 students and recent grads joined 13 from UW-Madison having their status terminated. The terminations come just 1 month before the end of the spring semester.
Wisconsin Democrats will need a new leader.
Democratic Party of Wisconsin Chair Ben Wickler is stepping down in June. He led the state party for 6 years, boosting fundraising and helping Democrats win 12 out of 15 statewide races in that time. Earlier this year, Wickler ran unsuccessfully to be the next Democratic National Committee chairman. He says he's not ruling out future runs in politics. Former state Democratic Party Executive Director Devin Remacher announced he's running to replace Wickler, and Democratic strategist Joe Zepecki has suggested he's considering a run. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Thousands are expected to run the Milwaukee Marathon this weekend.
Race organizer Chip Hazuski says there will be a new route with this year's 26-mile race.
The race is going to go straight down KK, pretty much from National all the way down to Oklahoma. It makes for a little bit more scenic, gone through the Bayview neighborhood.
He also says that traveling around the city may be difficult during the marathon.
Closures start a little after 6, and it's kind of a rolling closure, rolling reopening. So by noon, you'll see everything fully reopened.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers fall to the Rockies 7-2 this afternoon. It'll take the series. Next, they begin a series with the Diamondbacks tomorrow night. NFL draft begins 2 weeks from tonight in Green Bay. Packers president Mark Murphy clearing the air on pre-draft instructions.
The rumor that I have told Brian that he cannot trade out of the first round is not true. I went up to Brian after that and I said, Brian, if you think the best thing for the Packers is to trade out of the first round, do it.
The Bucks host the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. Milwaukee begins the day in the 5th position in the Eastern Conference playoff race with just 3 games to play. Hear tonight's game on WTMJ. Coverage beginning after the 6 o'clock news.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Otto's Wine and Spirits. They've been serving Milwaukee since 1945, and they do it the right way every single day. They've got the best selection. I love when I walk in there because Otto's is owned by employees. They have a lot of pride in what they do, and they're knowledgeable. They know where to direct you. I was looking for some white port wine. All right, you know what a gin and tonic is. In Porto, in Portugal, they have a thing called a Porto tonic, and it's white port and tonic. It's fantastic. So the guy pointed me right where it was. He said, it's right over there. He gave me a couple selections. Then I went and got some seltzer because my daughters are coming into town. That's how they roll at Otto's. Best selection, best service, all day long. Open 7 days a week, multiple locations. It's Otto's.
I came in over 10 years ago and I couldn't breathe ever. And ever since then, now I can breathe.
Breathe well with simple solutions.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, meteorologist Brian Nisnansky is with us, and he's got it. Julia, look at the camera. You can see Niz by texting the word watch to 855-616-16. He looks very happy and relaxed. I'm thinking birthday night must have been really good. Was it nice?
Double the pleasure, double the fun, like you said.
Yes. It looks like you look like you're in a really good space right now.
I'm relaxed. I got a haircut too. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it does look good. You look really tan, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a super tan.
It must be the lighting. I haven't seen the sun just like you guys.
Well, Steve Shamrus has admitted he used a tanning bed.
Well, that's maybe. Shammy. Yep.
I don't have a tanning bed. Maybe it's my. We'd have to put on the makeup. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
The makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you do a
for
good job.
TV. Maybe that's what's giving it to me.
I think we
Yeah.
can agree. He's probably the most handsome person we have on the show. Don't you think? We got a lot of really smart people, but we don't have a lot of really handsome people,
Yeah, we
if
don't
we're
have
being honest.
We don't have Tyler Moore.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Even if we did have Tyler Moore.
has great looking people.
Yeah, he'd still be the most handsome, even if we'd had to hell with Tyler Moore. I mean, Niz is still the best looking weather guy over there.
I got 13 years, I think, on Tyler. At least 14.
Wow.
So
really?
give me a little bit of.
That's
right. I don't know if Tyler's hit 30 yet.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
You do have a good team over there, seriously. You guys have the best team.
I appreciate that. Like, that's something that, I guess when I got tasked as chief a few years back, I got not hit, but that sounds negative, but we had to make some hires.
Yeah.
So right away, some responsibility with that, and I think we've been really fortunate. Brendan Johnson just walked in right now. He just got done from standing in front of a tornado siren for tornado awareness a week. But yeah, no, everybody gets along. Everybody plays their part. Everybody, really, really chips in.
Yeah, it's important too. I mean, really, we all goof around about the fun things you say, but you help keep us safe, and it's a big deal.
Time.
I appreciate that too. Like yesterday, I did a weather talk up at Elkhart Lake, and one of the questions I got, the kids were amazing, by the way, though. The entire elementary school, and sometimes elementary school, you don't know what you're going to get. Hey, you got any questions? And then they tell you a story about their grandpa.
What kind of car do you drive?
Yeah, totally. So, but they had really good questions, and one was along the lines of what is most rewarding about your job? What do you like about your job the most? And I mean, I absolutely hate bad weather. I hate when I know that weather could be affecting people's property and affecting people's lives, but that's the most rewarding part about the job too. When we do have wall-to-wall tornado coverage, when there are people who are relying and depending on our information, that's why I do this, and that's why what I get up for the most.
That is good stuff. All right, it's going to be kind of quiet, Niz, it sounds like. What does it look like tonight and then the next few days?
Yeah, so tonight we do have a couple little stray showers. If you're over towards Jefferson and Walworth counties again, starting to see a little batch of showers move through. This is probably going to scoot to the south of Waukesha, maybe Clip, Racine, and Kenosha. Besides that, becoming partly cloudy and a low of 34. For Friday, mostly sunny, 46 lakeside, 53 inland. So still a bit on the chilly side, but starting to warm back up. Saturday looks good, mostly sunny, pleasant, 54 lakeside, 60 inland. Sunday, increasing clouds and mild with the high temperature of 60 lakeside, 64 inland. Chance of showers, though, Sunday evening. So that's your hiccup for the weekend forecast. And a few of those showers could continue into Monday with a high of 58 degrees.
All right. So the weekend's pretty good. Sunday is warmer. Saturday, bright sunshine. Yep. It's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Honestly, it looks good to get some yard work done, be outdoors. Just be aware that if you are outside, tail end, maybe you're lighting the grill Sunday evening, you do have a chance of seeing those showers.
All right. Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky, always good stuff, Niz. Thank you so much.
You know what? I just forgot. You talk about the best looking person on the show. You're sitting right next to her, John. Come on.
Oh, and John is very good looking too.
Stop it, you guys. All right, let's just all agree. The three of us, this is pretty good right here.
Text watch.
As good as it
Text
gets.
watch.
That's right. Niz, you're a really nice guy. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, buddy.
See you guys. Yep.
It is 5:43 at WTMJ. We spent a lot of time talking about tariffs. Donald Trump reiterating again there are proposed tariffs on pharmaceuticals. These could be really serious, really dangerous for a lot of people. What's the scoop? How likely is that to happen? ABC News health and science reporter Mary Kakatos is with us up next.
A whole day dedicated to us?
No, dedicated to you, the WTMJ fan.
Come celebrate WTMJ with us, your favorite WTMJ host, at a private tailgate at the Brewers game Saturday, May 17th.
Enjoy food, drinks, and hanging out with us. Plus tickets to the Brewers game as they take on the Twins at AmFam Field.
Get more information and secure your tickets at WTMJday.com.
Tickets will go fast, so sign up today.
We'll see you at the ballpark for WTMJ Day, Saturday, May 17th.
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus promises hope even to the criminal being crucified alongside him. This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. During this Jubilee year, the Holy Father has asked us to be signs of hope for others. Our brothers and sisters who are imprisoned, sick, or disabled may feel like there is very little hope for them. We are to visit them, provide care for them, and be a sign of Jesus' hope in their lives. It's Lent. Please join us at Mass.
Hey, John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Now is the time. Okay, soon you're going to be cleaning those windows and getting those doors ready to go and nice and shiny. You're going to realize that maybe you need something new. Go with a Wisconsin company that does it the right way every day. It's Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and now is the time. Take advantage of no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades as long as you order by April 30th. No finance options or free glass upgrades. That's incredible. It's Pella, all the way. Talented designers and installers that can match your aesthetic in your home. Dramatic colors, custom sizes, finishes, profiles, product types, more. The Experience Center in Brookfield is absolutely incredible. You got to get out there and check it out for yourself. They've got the best wood warranty in the industry, and now's the time. No interest financing options or some really cool stuff they do with the glass. You get the extra stuff for free right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends end of the month. Place your free in-home consultation today. They'll come right out to your house. PellaWI.com.
70 years ago, the Blaine brothers founded Blaine's Farm and Fleet as one of the nation's first retail stores to sell goods at a discount. And we've helped supply Midwest farms and families with quality products at unbeatable prices ever since. Like 5-pound bags of Manna Pro Chick Grit with probiotics, $6.99. $2 off Kent Sentinel Horse Feed. Rewards members get $3 off. Plus, visit us at the Midwest Horse Fair for your chance to win over $5,000 in giveaways. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. It is here. It's happening at the Wisconsin State Fair Park's Expo Center. There you can buy gently used clothing, infant through teen, and all the kids gear you can think of at 50 to 90% off the retail price. They are open right now through 9 o'clock tonight. Head there. I've talked to so many people, just met the mother-daughter duo who live right here in Milwaukee. Everything for your child is safety checked and looks like brand new. Beat inflation. Head to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com to get tickets. That's milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield makes vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Traffic and weather. Let's just do traffic. We already did weather. How we doing, Deb?
Well, we've got some backups and we've got some accidents to deal with. First of all, in Jefferson County, a crash on the 94 westbound off-ramp to Highway F. So careful with that. That earlier accident on 94 eastbound at Highway 18 has been cleared. The delays are still working themselves out, so it's still going to be tight from 164 to about Barker Road. On the westbound side, just past Sunny Slope Road, we do still have a car left over on the right shoulder with a squad. It was an accident earlier, so we're just seeing some minor delays right past that scene. Southbound on 894, you got backups from Greenfield all the way down into the Hale interchange. Northbound 43, watch for delays from Fond du Lac Avenue to Keefe. And then westbound 94, slowing from 27th Street to Hawley Road. Eastbound is going to be heavy from just before 84th Street all the way to about 27th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Donald Trump's proposed pharmaceutical tariffs could drive up costs. That is according to the experts. By the way, confirmation today that the tariffs on China are at 145%. With more is ABC News health and science reporter Mary Kakatos, who's with us this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So once again, the topic's coming up of President Trump saying he plans to announce tariffs on pharmaceuticals soon. How big an impact would this have on the industry if this were to happen?
It would likely have a major impact. Although there are a lot of drugs that are manufactured in the U.S., the raw ingredients of almost all medications are made overseas. This includes over-the-counter painkillers, as well as antibiotics, asthma drugs, and heart medications, which, of course, are taken by millions and millions of Americans.
What countries are some of the countries where the drug ingredients are made? Where do they come from?
So there are several countries in Europe that make these ingredients. China is also a country in which many of these ingredients are made. And, of course, China is a country that President Trump has placed major tariffs on. So this would, of course, raise the price of several medications, according to experts.
So, Mary, I think a lot of Americans are surprised that as a world leader in pharmaceutical research and development and production of drugs, that the ingredients don't come from here. Why is that? Is it like many other industries, it's just a cost thing? Why are they not the ingredients made here?
Yeah, so it is exactly that. They can be made in other countries because the cost of labor to do so is much less than in the United States. Often it requires a lot of money to build factories in the United States, and there are many and many suppliers of regular everyday medications that Americans take, so not all of these factories need to be built elsewhere. They can be sort of exported, and that helps lower the cost so that they can be distributed to Americans at hopefully a lower price.
So, Mary, that leads into another question that I had about the process of bringing manufacturing back to the United States. I know the president would like to do that in a lot of industries. In this industry specifically, how long would that take? How complicated is that? It's not just like a light switch.
No, not like a light switch at all. It's unclear how long it would take to do so. Experts have said that it could take as little as a year or even longer. A lot of generic drug makers have about a 6 to 12 month supply of the drugs that they distribute. So once that supply runs out, then it would be a question of whether they would be able to import those pharmaceuticals from elsewhere or if they would have to consider building factories here.
Mary, are any ingredients of mainstream drugs made here?
It's a good question. The overwhelming majority are made overseas. If there are any that are made here, we're really not aware of them.
This seems like it could really be dangerous. Some of what you've listed off, I mean, for asthma, we've heard stories of people not getting asthma prescriptions filled because they're already so expensive. Heart medications, antibiotics can be critically important. Does that weigh into the equation here? I mean, these are very serious drugs, it seems like, that are on the list that you mentioned.
These are very serious drugs. So this could lead to increased costs. This could lead to potentially drug shortages, but it will remain to be seen if the president is able to negotiate with these countries so that the tariffs would either be minimal or not at all, or if this would be something that would really bump up the cost for many Americans who might be struggling to afford their medications already.
Has the president given any indicator when he might make a final decision?
He did not, but he did say on Wednesday that he is still serious about putting tariffs on pharmaceuticals to boost U.S. drug manufacturing. Speaking from the Oval Office, he said that is going to be done, but he did not give a timeline as to when.
Mary Kakatos is with us, ABC News. She covers health and science. What about the drug companies? Are they weighing in?
Some of the drug companies have said that they are going to be moving some manufacturing to the United States, but a lot are currently silent on the matter. They may be weighing their options right now as to whether or not they'll be moving back.
And it's a sticky wicket. We've done a lot of tariff talk, like a lot of people, the last couple of weeks, and leaders in the different industries are reluctant to really speak up because they don't want the president to be angry or to chide them, or because it's strategic. And this seems like a very strategic industry. You cover it, Mary. How important is it for the pharmaceutical industry leaders to keep things close to their chest, to hold their strategy tight?
Likely it is a strategy to hold things close to the chest. We'll see over the next couple of weeks if plans emerge, whether those are talks with the president or talks with the countries in which they manufacture. A lot is really unknown right now, so it really remains to be seen.
Mary, the tariff world is kind of what we're living in when you do what you or I do for a living, and you cover health and science. Are there other health sectors that are potentially being hit by tariffs? It seems like almost nothing's being spared. In your sphere, what are some other industries or part of the industry you cover that could be impacted?
It's a good question about what could be impacted by tariffs. Undoubtedly, there are biotech products or over-the-counter products that are made overseas. That could be anything from bandages to maybe even vaccines, but it's all really unknown. We don't know if any of these things will be impacted. It's all going to be a matter of time to see what is and isn't impacted. But what we do know is that these pharmaceutical imports are going to be impacted by tariffs, at least according to the president.
And you raise a really good point. Just to clarify, this is not just high-end, expensive, doctor-written prescription drugs, right? Could this be aspirin, pain relievers? You mentioned Band-Aids. I mean, even things that are found just on the shelf in Walgreens?
It could be things that are found on the shelf. Again, we don't know about those products, but we do know that right now it will be pharmaceutical imports, and that is everything from those heart medications that are potentially written by a doctor for a prescription to those over-the-counter painkillers like Advil or Tylenol that you might find at your local drugstore.
How nervous are health industry leaders?
They are nervous because there could be added costs. There could be those shortages, as I mentioned, and some experts even think that there could be less research and development. A lot of these pharmaceutical companies, at least according to experts, they use their profits in different ways, including investing in research and development. And if fewer people are buying drugs that are priced higher as a result of tariffs, that could mean in the long run that some of those companies may have to withdraw investments in research and development, which could lead to fewer innovations.
That's a great point. Mary Kakatos, health and science reporter for ABC News in New York. Mary, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you again for having me.
All right, you are welcome. A report for business when we have business is the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservation today. Check them out. It's the Pfister Hotel.